GT cars on circuit. Welcome to Macau 2020, everybody. I know that these, for many people watching around the world, are a firm favourite in the timetable. The Macau GT Cup, and this year in 2020 is very much a celebration of the excellence of motorsport of this region of the world. And we've got a bit of information to give you as the cars make their way out onto the circuit to form up on the grid. Qualification race yesterday finished up in the stewards room, and I've got an official piece of paper from the press room at Macau, which says that after an investigation yesterday, the stewards received a protest, and car 95, Daryl O'Young, they examined the video evidence, heard from the competitors' representative and drivers. What they were investigating was that during the formation lap, the driver did not maintain the distance in between cars side by side, at least one car width apart. Now, while the qualification race was happening, which due to quite a lot of delays that we had yesterday afternoon, was happening in really quite diminishing light at around about 5:30 in the afternoon. So the race was cut short anyway, and cut short to 5 laps in total. Daryl O'Young won the race, i.e. he stood on the top step of the podium and had the checkered flag first. However, throughout the race there had been an indication on the screen that there was going to be an investigation into the start. So we didn't know what that was. We were waiting to see what that was. Clearly that was what it was, and they decided, the stewards, that there would be a drive-through penalty, but because it was post-race, that would be converted into a 30-second penalty. So Daryl O'Young not winning the qualification race, and therefore, where does that put him in the overall results of the race from yesterday? Down in 11th place once 30 seconds of penalty are applied. So you can be sure of one thing: somebody that has been dominant throughout this weekend, the hugely experienced number 95 Daryl O'Young in his Craft Bamboo Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 car, will be making up places during this race. He needs to, because he's down there on the grid in 11th place. It means that the way the grid will line up, we'll see on pole position a car that finished up second at the checkered flag yesterday, number 33, and that will be Ye Hong Lee in the Toro Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo, alongside the Audi, which finished up on the 3rd step of the podium, but after the penalty applied, second in the qualification race, number 28 Chan Wei-an. So Mercedes and Audi will line up on the front row of the grid. In recent years, this race has been the very impressive FIA GT World Cup. This year, it is the Macau GT Cup, which has been since its inception in 2008. Daryl O'Young won that inaugural race back in 2008. Will he win the Macau GT Cup today from 11th place on the grid? They're huge, powerful cars around the Guia circuit. Overtaking is not simple, and that is a fairly huge mountain to climb. But we'll see if Daryl O'Young is up to the challenge. David Chen's car we're looking at there, the number 28 car on the front row of the grid. But, David Chen on the outside of the front row of the grid, because on pole position is the number 33 car, and that's the car finished up on the podium yesterday of Ye Hong Lee, beg your pardon, in the GT3 Evo number 33 car, but assumes the race win for the qualification race. See the umbrellas coming out on circuit. Don't worry, it's not about to rain, not by a long way. Very nice day at Macau. 27 degrees, sunshine, blue skies, and keeping the sunshine off is the reason for the umbrellas. What a collection of supercars we have for the Macau GT Cup, and how many have we got? A very, very impressive grid. 25 cars in total. For many people, this is the highlight race of a race weekend at Macau. We've taken you through the front row of the grid. Car 38, Marchi Lee. Marchi Lee in the Audi Sport Asia Team X-Works Audi R8. Car fully closed up and not getting air into the car before the race gets underway. Min Hang in his Mercedes GT3 Evo. Car 66 next on the grid. Number 9 is next, that's Sang Kan in his Mercedes. Mercedes certainly the predominant car on the grid for 2020 in the Macau GT Cup, alongside the number 36 car of Billy Lowe from Macau, local driver, electing to get as much fresh air as is possible before the start of the race. These cars will get incredibly warm in these conditions today. Bay Serling in the Lamborghini Huracan, very distinctive livery on the lime green Grid Motorsport car, alongside the number 3 car of Liu Let Car, Craft Bamboo, Mercedes AMG GT3 car. Walking back on the grid to see another Mercedes, number 8 this time, Yeo Liangbo in the Team Kinetic Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 car, alongside the number 5 car of Chris Cha in the GT4 Mercedes number 5. Super livery on that car. It's a super hotel in Macau as well, the MGM. Number 95, Darryl O'Young. He's got quite a race to look forward to over 12 laps at Macau. Won the race yesterday and then dropped 11 places back in the stewards' room. Conversations happening between last night and today as well. It's only mid-morning this morning that result came through. We were just looking at Brian Lee in his Mercedes GT4 car, now looking at the 68 car of Lou JY in the Lamborghini Huracan. See how busy the grid is before the Macau GT race. The Macau GT Cup, quite splendid collection of mouth-watering cars. Confirmation of the grid, the front row, 33, Ye Hong Lee, alongside the number 28 car of Chan Wei-an, right the way down the order until you get to the car that had really been the pace setter for the entire duration of this weekend, Darryl O'Young. We'll start down there on the 6th row of the grid in car number 95. So drama doesn't always take place on the circuit at Macau. Sometimes it takes place in the stewards' room as well. And we've got Mercedes, Lotus, BMW, Lamborghini and McLaren represented here at Macau. I'm sure you'd agree, the cars we dream of represented on the grid. A 12-lap race in prospect. I think the grid is beginning to be cleared. Very busy grid, that's for sure. And I also have a small update if you were watching the Macau Guia race from earlier on. Ma Xinghua was checked over by the medics, and I'm very pleased to say that he was checked over and is declared to be absolutely fine, which is very, very good news indeed. Another incident to report on as information comes in was the incident that caused the race to be, in the end, stopped and not resumed. Accident between Yang Shi and Oei Fan. They were both being checked over on the circuit, and any information that we get about the well-being of those drivers we'll bring to you as well. So, all the glamour that surrounds the Macau GT Cup on display, the vibrant, colourful grid for the race unfolding around the world. And it's the final race before we begin the build-up to the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix. Just getting news in as well. There is annually a special event before the final race of the afternoon, the big one, the Macau Grand Prix. And the special event is very often when local drivers, local motoring enthusiasts are able to display their prides and joys around the Guia circuit at Macau. And unfortunately, due to the time already that we have lost here in the race programme, the special event has had to be cancelled. So we will move from the Macau GT Cup into the build-up for the big one, the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix. The lion dance ahead of the Grand Prix certainly will not be cancelled. Very much part of the event. All goes to make you absolutely certain you could be in no other part of the world than Macau. Billy Lowe about to get into his car. The car was dropped down a little early there. Not sure he'll be too happy about that. And while posing for a photograph, they do when you drop a car down off the air jacks. Do come down pretty briskly, and if your ankle is in the way, that can be something you're very sure of has happened. It's quite a violent move when a car is dropped down off the jacks. Hopefully, Billy Lowe is absolutely fine, and well, I think he was fine. Carried on posing for the photograph afterwards, after a brief retribution of whoever dropped the car down without warning everyone. And so that's the scene ahead of Macau GT Cup race. So the grid will be cleared, and in the beautiful sunshine at Macau, these heavy tyre trolleys are wheeled off. The various team personnel and the glamour of the grid at the Macau Grand Prix heads through the gate into the paddock and the pit lane for the teams, and then just the single member of the team directly involved in the starting of the cars will be left on the grid to get this race underway. So the story of this race is going to be very much watching Darren O'Young, who has been the pace setter thus far over the course of 3 days for the 2020 Macau Grand Prix. Free practice, he was setting the pace, He was the inaugural winner of the GT race here at Macau in 2008. He won the race yesterday, the qualification race, over 8 laps, but was deemed to have infringed the rules on the formation lap, of all things. And the stewards decided that the penalty for that was going to be a drive-through penalty. Well, the race had already finished, so therefore 30 seconds was deemed to be the corresponding time penalty, and the resultant grid drop down to 11th on the grid. That's Wong Kwai-Wah having a final word with the world and the TV cameras, as the TV cameras are in a moment given the word to leave the grid. But another chance for Wong Kwai-Wah to look down the lens. David Chen Wei-An on the outside of the front row of the grid, alongside the number 33 car, finished on track second yesterday, therefore assumes pole position and the win for the race yesterday. And Ye Hong Lee in the GT3 Evo on pole position. That's the 38 car of Marchie Lee. Starts third on the grid, and the final countdown now to get the engines fired up. A glorious, glorious noise, these cars around the Guia circuit at Macau. Chance for a final wave for Liu Jiwei, the Lamborghini Huracan. Fantastic cars on the grid for the Macau GT Cup. Heat will be an issue for tyres, brakes. It was at 9 o'clock this morning for the first of our races today, which was the Macau Touring Car Cup. As the temperature has gone up, as the day has gone on, temperature will become more of an issue to deal with, not least in the cockpit of the cars themselves. But we are blessed with a quite wonderful grid of supercars of various different marks. And as always in Macau, various different colourful liveries. Always look absolutely fantastic, these cars. And Mr. Macau, as he's known, Eduardo Mortara, has won this race 4 times in his glittering Macau career. But the first ever Macau GT Cup race was won by the car that starts in 11th place. The red and white machine, the Craft Bamboo racing car of Darrell O'Young. 2 lights on the gantry, 2 minutes to go, become 1. And the BMW will lead the field around on the formation lap, ahead of a 12-lap race for the Macau GT Cup. Off goes the BMW, and the rest will follow. I'm sure they will all now be very aware of the rules of essentially social distancing on the formation lap. Darrell O'Young deemed to be too close side by side with other cars on the formation lap, so therefore won't want to make the same mistake again. BMW leads them around. Then the 2, the BMW safety car this year, BMW providing all the official cars of the 2020 Macau Grand Prix, and the Mercedes on pole position of Ye Hong Lee, Toro Racing Mercedes AMG 33. He's 28 years old, Formula Renault 2-litre Euro Cup back in 2014. Did the Formula 3 Macau Grand Prix in 2016. He's been racing in Japanese Formula 3, GT World Asia, China Touring Car Championship this year, China Endurance Championship, and the debut this weekend for Ye Hongli in the Macau GT Cup. So you can see the legacy of one of our accidents during the Macau Guia race, the fluid having been dressed down at Lisboa. Fairly regular operation. As soon as fluid comes down, they're able to dress it with a specific agent that will deal with the fluid, and then if they get the chance, they get a chance to sweep up that powder which is put down, and certainly very quickly makes the circuit that much more raceable. So the formation now for the Macau GT Cup. Pick your winner, everybody. Whoever you're cheering on, be it a driver or a mark, there are plenty to choose from. In total, 25 cars on the grid for the Macau GT Cup. And what a fantastic sight they make. Big cars, powerful cars, and when they get onto the tight and twisty mounted section of the circuit, they do just look so impressive. Huge talent required to inch perfectly control the cars to avoid those inviting barriers in Macau black and yellow right the way around the circuit. Donna Maria is where they are now, the left-hander. Up towards the Melco hairpin, actually down towards the Melco hairpin, and the final sector of the circuit. Once they get through Melco, and you can see with the big GT3 cars, it's not the work of a moment to negotiate the no overtaking Melco hairpin down to Black Sands. Fisherman's Bend is a very challenging and quick and impressive corner. The penultimate corner on the circuit. Final weaving of the cars to get heat into the tyres. And that is Daryl O'Young. We'll be keeping a good eye on Daryl, starting down in 11th place. Needs to make up places and make them up early as well, does Daryl O'Young. BMW keeping the cars in order up towards the final turn, our bend, and to get the race underway. BMW will peel off. We're about to get the Macau GT Cup race underway around our bend, up towards the starting gantry, over the grid slots, up towards the line, and we'll get racing underway. Pole position, the number 33 car of Ye Hongli, and they're racing at Macau. Lights go out, and from pole position, Ye Hongli gets a good start, slots in the front of the field, ahead of the car of David Chen from the outside of the front row of the grid. Marching in there in third place, through Mandarin, down towards Lisboa, kicking up the dust that dressed the accident we had earlier in the touring car race. Through Lisboa, oh, only just got through, and that was Dan Can getting it wrong on the turn into Lisboa, and very, very lucky not to scrape the tyre wall on the outside of the corner at Lisboa. That was inch perfect. We'll try not to do that again. Good bit of daylight now already for the race leader, for Ye Hongli in the number 33 GT3 Evo car. Lovely sound from these cars, and it echoes around the circuit here at Macau. Unfortunately, we already have one car which has hit the barrier. Driver out of the car, which is very good news. Walking away, at your race leader. Number 33, the race leading car, the Toro Racing Mercedes AMG. Safety car being deployed for the recovery of the stricken car on circuit. So everyone comes down to a more sedate pace as the BMW safety car is deployed. How many places did Daryl O'Young manage to make up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 places made up. So safety car deployed. So up to 7th place for Daryl O'Young. I think I said he made up 7 places. No, he didn't. He made it up to 7th place. That's your race leader up towards the start line, picking up the safety car in due course around turn 1, and the BMW will be there to pick up the field. Will come through, avoiding the car which has made contact with the barrier over on the left-hand side of the circuit. BMW is the follower leader, and indicating to the field to keep well over to the right-hand side of the track and avoid the recovery that's going to be required. The course workers here at Macau very adept at dealing with the recovery of a car. They can really get this job done pretty quickly if there aren't any complications of circuit furniture like we had during the significant incidents in the Guia race, the touring car race that we've just had at Macau, where circuit furniture was damaged pretty heavily. So Daryl O'Young getting up to 7th place on the opening lap. Just been confirmed there on the screen. Confirmation of the order as well. They are behind safety car, and laps remain in this race. Very early days for Daryl O'Young. Did a good job to make up so many places on the opening lap, and that's the thing, to make up those places earlier on, to not allow the leaders to get away. That's when the job becomes insurmountable. Happened to Eduardo Matara a couple of years ago, not able to make the places up, and then it becomes an unenjoyable race, watching the leaders off into the distance and really not able to do anything about it. So the field in the Macau GT Cup race here at Macau, threading their way up through the technical mountain section of the circuit. Marchi Li from Hong Kong, China, 44 years old. As so many of the drivers in GT Cup has experienced early on the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, which has been a great proving ground across the world for drivers in GT cars. Going on to multiple years for Marchi Li, Audi R8 LMS Cup, which he won in 2012. So number 88 Lotus Exige of Lo Pak Yu, the 778 Autosport car, is lifted onto the recovery vehicle, and the BMW safety car leaves the field down from the Macau hairpin on the run towards Fisherman's Bend. The one thing that you only manage to realise when you're actually trackside at Macau is just one of the sorts of senses this event is. The beautiful noises, incredibly loud, echoing around the walls and the shops and businesses around the circuit of Macau. 7:30 in the morning is historically on Saturday everybody's alarm clock, because the motorcycles go out and the noise around the streets of Macau echoes out. If you're hoping for a line on the Friday of Macau or the Saturday of Macau, when they also have a warm-up, think again. Incredibly noisy and a wonderful, wonderful sound. So the Lotus on the back of the recovery vehicle, and as the cars weave their way across the tarmac, trying to maintain that temperature in the tyres. Keep looking to see if we've got up to the magical 30s on the ambient temperature in Macau. That was in the weather forecast. Still says 27. I don't believe them. It looks very warm, and when you see the drivers in the press conference after the race, you see just how hot they've got in the cockpit of the car. It's not surprising. Very, very warm indeed. And this is where the drivers will notice just how hot it gets. It's when they're going slowly. It's when they notice it. Slow or stop, they feel the heat. When they're at race pace, they haven't got time to think about temperature. They just press on. Which is what they're doing now behind the BMW, the 2 safety car. Behind the safety car, they will continue to tick off the laps. So the laps continue. Tyre screening as well, all part of the assault of the senses that is the Macau Grand Prix weekend. So lucky to have this event staged in 2020. A wonderful celebration of motorsports in this part of the world, and an opportunity for more local drivers of the region, to be on the world stage and to shine and to show their talents, expertise around the world. So, the leader, Ye Hong Lee, in the Toro Racing Mercedes-AMG GT3 Evo. Third time through Donna Maria, down towards the Macau hairpin. Another lap under safety car conditions is soon to be completed into the 4th sector on the timing screens. The order, as you can see, the 33 car of Ye Hong Lee, from the number 38 car of Marchi Lee, 66 car in 3rd place, Min Heng, 28 car in 4th place, David Chen, 5th place the number 9 car, Sang Kan, and safety car due to come in this lap. So final opportunity to weave the cars, get a bit of heat into the tyre, get ready for the restart. The BMW pulls off into pit lane and the race is back underway for the Macau GT Cup. Race leader gets a good restart as well. So yeah, Hong Li gets the power down first of all, but what of the restart for Darrell Young, still there in 7th place, so not able to capitalise on the restart, but having a look at the back of the Lamborghini, who in turn is looking to make up a place on the Mercedes number 9 of Tan Can. But as they come down towards Lisboa, under pressure is the 66 car of Min Hang through Lisboa, and Darrell Young is through San Francisco now onto the mountain section of the Guia circuit here at Macau. Welcome along everyone, wherever you're watching. This is the unmistakable sight and sound of Macau and the Macau GT Cup, and unfortunately that beautiful MGM liveried Mercedes, the number 21 car of Wang Hao, doing a typical Lisboa moment, missing the turn in. And sadly, there is an escape road there. If you decide not to make the corner early enough, you can just use the escape road and avoid the collision that we've just seen. Great shame that, but it won't take too long to rectify things down at Lisboa. Keep the race going. Marchi Lee in 2nd place, pursuing the number 33 car that leads the race of Ye Hong Li. Down towards the Macau hairpin, over to the bus stop on the left-hand side of the circuit, using all the track. You need all the track in these big GT cars. On the exit of the corner, a good flowing exit to the corner can not only finish this lap off nicely, but also sets up for a good next lap. See that in qualifying. Darrell Young having to be brave, having a look down on the inside. Very, very quick part of the circuit. It's Tan Can that Darrell Young is looking to make the place up on, and does so now. So Darrell Young bravely having a look at Fisherman's Bend, setting the manoeuvre up, and by the end of the lap has completed the manoeuvre. So Darrell Young up into 5th place from 11th on the grid. That's the race leader, car 33, Ye Hong Li. Waved yellow flags indicating it's still the Mercedes that we have down there, as Darrell Young now has clear track and time to make up to get onto the back of the 4th place car, which is the 28 car of Chen Weian. Again, up through the mountain section for the race leader. Down to the left-hander at maternity. Have to be so inch perfect on this pass of the Guia circuit at Macau. Wall on one side, barrier on the other. Need to keep it neat, tidy, and place the car inch perfectly, which at the moment, as they go through police up towards Moorish, is what the race leader Ye Hong Li in the Mercedes is able to produce. Second to Darrell Young on track yesterday. So the 66 car of Min Heng in 3rd place, with number 28 just behind Che Weian. They all bunch up together. The battle for 2nd place. The 3rd place down through the corner, and Ye Hong Li 4 laps in the book in this 12-lap race. 8 laps remain for the 2020 Macau GT Cup, Darrell O'Young looking at the back of the 28 car of Che Wei-an in 4th place. Didn't take long to catch up to the back of the Audi Sport Asia team Audi R8. And now Darrell O'Young is looking very menacing indeed. Needs to pick the place. In turn, there's a question of attack and defence for the 28 car of Che Wei-an, looking at taking a place away from Min Hang, and does so. And by San Francisco, Darrell O'Young has done it as well. So, what a super opportunistic moment for Che Wei-an. And Darrell O'Young makes the most of the door being opened as well. The loser in all of that, Min Hang. So, the two of them, that manoeuvre completed, beautiful at Lisboa. No other opportunity than to hit the brakes and avoid a collision for Min Hang. But unfortunately, Darrell O'Young was right there, an opportunistic, very much the name of the game for Darrell O'Young. The door open, thanks very much. I'll take that one as well. And now, having made the manoeuvre stick for Che Wei-an in car 28, he's now got Darrell O'Young absolutely tied to the back of the car towards the Macau hairpin, down to Macau through the corner. Sixth lap about to be completed, and that will put them on to the second half of this 12-lap race. And Darrell O'Young, really quite a menacing presence behind the car of Che Wei-an. 4th place, 5th place, as they go through across the line to complete now 6 laps, half distance. Che Wei-an up into 3rd place after that manoeuvre on Min Hang, and Darrell O'Young through in 4th place, just shy of the podium positions. And Che Wei-an is now going to have to keep this so neat, so tidy, and not make a single error to allow the door to be open for a recovery drive from Darrell O'Young after the 11th place drop on the grid after being first on track yesterday in the qualification race. Now, Darrell O'Young is keeping right on the tail of Che Wei-an. They twist their way through the maze of walls and barriers that typify the Guia circuit here at Macau. First time in a little while we've been back to look at the leader. Why? Because he's in splendid isolation at the front of the field, and the 33 car of Ye Hong Lee continues on his way, not under pressure. He can pick the perfect line, keep it neat, keep it tidy, get some flow to the race. Marchi Lee in 2nd place, meanwhile, can see very large in his mirrors this battle for 3rd, with Che Wei-an and Darrell O'Young closing the gap in their defence and attack of their own battle, closing in on the 2nd place car, the 38 car of Marchi Lee. The Audi R8 LMS car. Darrell O'Young has a look, slots in behind, goes through the final turn. 7 laps in the book now. Darrell O'Young looking very threatening now as they head down towards turn 1 at Reservoir. Through Reservoir they go. This the incredibly quick run down towards Mandarin, and ultimately Lisboa. It's an overtaking opportunity if ever there was one, but Darlow Young seemingly not close enough to the back of Che Wei-an, where they both took the opportunistic move to make up a place earlier on. Darlow Young has to slot in just behind. Up the hill they go. They climb the mountain together. And so far, Chen Wei-an has kept it perfect. Darlow Young was just having a look there. That would have been quite remarkable. Or potentially hoping to force an error, if you like, just by making his presence known and therefore opening the door. An error is what he's hoping for at the moment, is Darlow Young. But thus far, Che Wei-an has kept it very neat, very tidy, and hasn't made that mistake to open the door. Police, the right-hander. Into the corner they go. Quickly on to Moorish. Again, a right-hander. Little wiggle from the 28 car coming out of Moorish corner, and then on to Donna Maria. Down to the Macau airfield once again. Enthralling battle this. Can Darlow Young get at very least onto the podium? Chen Wei-an doing everything within the toolbox of defence to keep it neat and tidy and not make an error and not throw any opportunity to Darlow Young. It's great that the TV director is keeping with this battle, because it is absolutely fascinating to see who's going to blink first in this battle for the final podium position. The recovery drive, which at the moment has come to a pause from 11th place on the grid for Darlow Young. But we still have 4 laps to go. Darlow Young very, very close this time. Pulls out to the left-hand side, having a look down on the outside as they go into Lisboa. It was really only a sign of intention, I think, going into Lisboa. And Chen Wei-an in 3rd place, driving beautifully under huge pressure not to make a mistake. Look how close Darlow Young is to the back of Chen Wei-an's car, through Teddy Ip, onto the solid GS's. Hear the tyres squealing. The ultimate test of human and machine around the Guia circuit at Macau. Onto Police. Through the corner they go. Still 2 tied together as one. Chen Wei-an, Darlow Young, and Donna Maria the corner. Through the left-hander they go. Once again up towards the Macau hairpin. You can watch this for hours. Absolutely fascinating. And it really is a question of who will make a mistake or who will go for a brave manoeuvre. That's the story that will play out over the next 3 laps, because they are about to complete now. 9 laps in the book. Meanwhile, the race leader, Ye Hong Lee, still out on his own. The advantage at the completion of 9 laps over Marchie Lee in 2nd place, 6 seconds. So they've both completed 9 laps now. The battle for 3rd and 4th. Chen Wei-an leading from Darlow Young. That's Marchi Lee in second place. And still no mistake this time. Darryl O'Young is going to get side by side and get round before they get towards Lisboa. So a change in position. Darryl O'Young worked it out. He planned his manoeuvre. That time was close enough to execute it beautifully by the time they got towards Lisboa. Jinks out from behind, side by side, on the outside line, but he gets the job done before he gets to Lisboa. Turns in, perfect tight line, and a little bit of a wiggle, having been demoted down to third place for Chan Wei-an. So, 2.5 laps to go. Up into third place. Darryl O'Young is now in a podium position, making up for the demotion down to 11th on the grid for the start of this race. On track, won the race yesterday in the stewards' room. It was decreed, unfortunately, he would start 11th, and that's unfortunate as well. It is the Mercedes AMG of, I think, Yao Liangbo. And it didn't take too long for Darryl O'Young to close up onto the back of Marchi Lee. A red flag. So, a red flag. Race suspended with 2 laps to go. And we were blessed with a beautiful battle for third place. A credit to both of them. Chan Wei-an doing a perfect job of defending from Darryl O'Young. Everyone knows the pedigree of Darryl O'Young, his experience, but Chan Wei-an kept it very neat, very tidy. And that is the story, the clout and the bang of the Mercedes. Number 8 car of Yao Liangbo. Team Kinetic Racing Mercedes. And the recovery of that vehicle necessitating the... not just the recovery of that vehicle, it's also the stricken Lamborghini, the number 12 of May Serling. Grid Motorsport Lamborghini Huracan. The car was stopped out on track as well. So I think the combination of the two of them, given reason for the red flag to come out and the race to be suspended. However, what we can be very grateful of is that we were able to see that battle and manoeuvre played out without a race interruption. And the beautiful manoeuvre by Darryl O'Young. Just getting word that the race will not be resumed. Not surprised about that. Just 2 laps to go, and we weren't robbed of that battle for the final podium position. Once again, the Mercedes just gets it out of shape, hits nose in, and then you are quite literally a passenger in the car at high speed. It's a very high speed part of the circuit, and drivers already invited into Parc Fermé. Great battle that, but let's not detract from our race winner. Ye Hong Lee won the race yesterday, but in the stewards' room, having come second. Marchi Lee, car 38, in second place, and Darryl O'Young finally getting that position, and huge celebrations. Great to see down in Parc Fermé. Yes, yes, is the cry. Celebrating with the team. See how much a win at Macau means. Yeah, a well-deserved thumbs up. Absolutely super to watch the battle for third place with Darryl O'Young. and the rest of the field make their way down into pit lane. Drivers getting themselves ready for the podium presentation. If you are just joining us ahead of the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix, it's coming up. Just gone 25 to 3 in the afternoon here at Macau. 3:30 the scheduled start time for the Grand Prix, Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix this year. Special event, the opportunity for classic cars around Macau has unfortunately had to be cancelled, but we will have the build-up with the traditional lion dance and the dotting of the eyes of the lion for good luck ahead of the single-seater headline race, the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix. It's very, very happy drivers appearing down in Parc Fermé. A rather sad recovery of a vehicle on track, and the podium will come up in due course. All the drivers are being weighed, of course. A great colour scheme on the MGM back car. Not too far from where we are here. The view of the grid to the MGM, a quite splendid hotel here in Macau. There are many of these super hotels, if you like, at Macau. The MGM is one of them that stands out in the area. A place that comes alive at night time. Let's have a look back at the many highlights of the Macau GT Cup. And really, one of the highlights of that race, that battle for third place with Darrell O'Young demoted down to 11th on the grid, making it up onto the podium. And the podium is coming up in just a couple of moments. All the glamour of this event clearly on display for the very sunny 2020 Macau Grand Prix. One more race to look forward to, and it's the big one, the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix, the single-seater race over 12 laps here at Macau. That's coming up in a little under an hour here at Macau. Before that, we will have a podium presentation for the Macau GT Cup, and hopefully get to hear from the drivers as well with the press conference that will follow, and then it will be all about the build-up to the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix, the lion dance, all the colour and celebration of this unique event, and opportunity to have a look back at once again a couple of the more the lowlights really, with cars like this. Don't like to see them getting damaged, but two of the incidents that we saw during that race. confirmation of the result. The win for Ye Hong Lee. Race time 23:20. Second place, Marchi Lee in car 38. Third place for Chen Wei-an. The result has gone back one lap with the red flag. So all that work that Darryl Young had done to take the place, of course, we've gone back one lap. So Chen Wei-an does ultimately take the third step of the podium. Sure, that's official. It's made it onto the graphics on the screen, so it's gone back one lap. And if you count back one lap, which is what happens when a red flag comes out, I should have thought about that, shouldn't I? The third place car at the conclusion of the previous lap was Chen Wei-an. So all of that work, unfortunately for Darryl Young, not resulting in a podium position. However, it did provide us with an incredibly enthralling race to enjoy. That's the scene of Macau ahead of the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix. 12 laps here in the sunshine, the blue skies of Macau. This colourful venue, wonderful, unique event this year, and overlooking all of it on the start line. Incredible building which forms the nerve centre of the Macau Grand Prix. I think built for the 60th anniversary celebration of the Macau Grand Prix, when we had racing on two consecutive weekends. We had a Legends weekend, Legends of Macau, and the more regular Macau Grand Prix weekend. How could you ever describe any motorsport event at Macau as regular? Far from it. Unique, supreme. You run out of superlatives when you start to talk about the Macau Grand Prix, and that is what is in every driver's sight, the podium at Macau.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now the trophy presentation at the podium for the Macau GT Cup GT3. In third place, from China, number 28, Chen Wei-an. Third place finisher, Macau GT Cup GT3, Chen Wei-an from China. Second place, number 38, Li Yingqin from Hong Kong, China. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, number 33, Ye Hong Lee from China. Congratulations.
There's a bit of energy on the
and now
podium.
we have the honor to invite Mr. Charles Low, Chairman of Automobile General Association Macau, China, to present the trophies and laurels.
Slightly late onto the podium, the third place, but delighted to hold the trophy up in the air. And the presentation to second place. I think we might see some celebrations from our winner,
Ye Hong Lee.
Ye Hong Lee bows down to receive the garland of victory.
Congratulations.
And the winner's trophy at Macau.
Thank you, Mr. Low. And thank you to our drivers. Congratulations again. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our podium for the Macau GT Cup GT4. In third place, from Hong Kong, China, number 23, Guang Hoifeng Eric. In second place, from Chinese Taipei, Li Chengxin Brian. And the winner, number 5, Xie An Chris from China. Once again, may I have the honor to invite Mr. Charles Low, Chairman of Automobile General Association Macau, China, to present the trophies to our winning drivers. First to Kwong Hoi Fong Eric. And then to our second place driver, Li Qingxin from Chinese Taipei. And to our winner, Xie An from China, number 5, Chris. Thank you, Mr. Low. And a group photo. Thank you, Mr. Low. And congratulations to our drivers again.
So that's our podium presentation for the categories within the Macau GT Cup.
Podium for the Macau GT Cup overall.
Overall, drivers about to make their way onto the podium.
Second runner-up, number 28, Chen Wei-an from China, onto the podium. First runner-up, number 38, Li Yingqin from Hong Kong, China. And the winner, number 33, Ye Hong Li from China. Congratulations again. And now the national anthem of the winning driver. Once again, I'd like to call upon Mr. Charles Low, Chairman of Automobile General Association Macau, China, to come forward to present the trophies to our winning drivers. First to Chen Wei-an, number 28. Then to Li Yingqin from Hong Kong, China, number 38. And to our winner, number 33, Ye Hong Li from China. Congratulations. Well done. And now let's have a group photo together. Thank you, Mr. Low. Our drivers, please stay. And I'd like to call upon the previous winning drivers from the Macau GT Cup from other categories to come forward to the podium.
So we have a full podium with both
ladies and
sets
gentlemen,
of class winners.
For the victory champagne shower. Let's see if they will pop the champagne cork.
They all get a bottle of Moet Chandon, and the opportunity to celebrate in style on the podium with a champagne shower, 6 bottles, and a very, very happy winner on the top step of the podium. Ye Hong Li showing without any question at all just how much it means to finish on the top step of the podium at Macau.
Overall. Thank you, everybody.
Macau GT Cup podium is complete, and the drivers, top 3 drivers, will make their way over towards the press room and the essential press conference, which we're hopefully going to be able to bring you